The meme coin Penguin has rocketed to $170 million market cap. Also, the first big protocol hack of 2026 has happened. Truebit loses $26 million. Lastly, we take a look at the A16Z report on crypto and AI working together.
One of the big questions is,
what is money?
Practical purposes, it exists in a series of heterogeneous databases, very different databases.
do you believe in crypto?
Digital currency may be an answer.
But it is the highly speculative asset.
I do own Bitcoin.
There is no second best.
Welcome to the Crypto Curious podcast, proudly brought to you by the Bamboo app. Every Wednesday, we dive into the dynamic world of cryptocurrency. If you're new to crypto, we recommend starting with our early episodes where we break down the basics and give you a solid foundation to understand the crypto world. And for the Crypto Curious, the seasoned addict or the industry insider, we're here to help you unpack the latest digital news. My name's Tracy. As always, I am joined by Blake on the show. How you going, Blake?
Good, Trace. Great to be back. Another week of great news. My head has been in the weeds this week, and I didn't see any of these stories come through. So I can't wait to learn a little bit more and dig into them and find out what's actually going on here in the crypto ecosystem.
Well, let's start with something that's a little bit different. We don't normally report so heavily on meme coins on this show, but this one is a little bit of fun. And this was the brand new Solana meme coin called Penguin. And it went from basically nothing to $170 million market cap in around about a day. It's called Nijensen Penguin. And it's pretty much what you'd think from a meme coin. It's just a ticker, basically. There was no real roadmap, nothing, no protocol. And this one just came out of nowhere, or so it would seem, Blake. Do you want to tell us what you know about this one?
Yeah, it looks like a pure attention economy. This one's come out of nowhere. It just goes to show really the power of memes. So there was a collision of White House memes and Elon content, which has caused this token to skyrocket. First, you had an image of President Trump walking in the snow next to a penguin doing the rounds on X. And then as well as that, there was some AI penguins doing their round from a Grok video. It was on X and Elon Musk liked it. And as a result, everyone was looking for a penguin meme coin to punt on, and punt on it they did. It blasted off 500%, 1,000%, up to $170 million in value, and it was no fundamentals here at all.
No fundamentals at all. Like you said, all it takes is a picture of a penguin on X, and then all of a sudden things go. So, like I said, this one, 170 million. I don't think it's even come back that much, to be honest. I'm not sure where it's sitting at time of recording, but we have not seen a meme coin go that high in a long time. And I think maybe this time last year we saw the president's coin pulling a lot of liquidity from the market, doing something spectacular. But yeah, it just goes to show that people are still out there. People are still bidding on meme coins. It had a huge run up because of social media, a lot of excitement. But again, if you're bidding on these, as we say on the show here, expect to lose your money as well, because it is just a punt. It is a bit of a gamble and a bit of fun. So it was interesting to see that one play out. I haven't seen a $170 million meme coin in quite some time, Blake.
That's right. Is it here to stay? Is it a flash in the pan? Only time will tell.
Absolutely. Let's move on now to our next story. From memes to something a little bit more serious. We've had our first big protocol hack of the year, and it hit Truebit, and this is a project in Ethereum's scaling stack. The attackers drained roughly 8,500 Ethereum, and that is around 26 million US dollars worth at time of recording. The exploit hit a vulnerability in the protocol's contracts. So for people who don't know much about Truebit and exactly what went wrong, Blake, do you want to give us an update?
Yeah, so Truebit helps the Ethereum blockchain process data. So sometimes smart contracts require some complicated mathematics and some logic and some computation in order for the Ethereum blockchain to operate. And if the Ethereum blockchain can't manage this, it outsources it to Truebit, which has much more capability around data processing. And there's, of course, a fee for that. So if you write a smart contract or a program on Ethereum and it uses data and it's too slow on Ethereum, you can use Truebit and that'll make your application work. And as a result, a lot of their organization is run through smart contracts. And this was an exploit that someone found to drain the 8,500 Ethereum. Initially people were thinking this is just normal withdrawals, but it got bit out of hand, didn't it, Trace?
Yeah, it did. So look, you've just mentioned here that they help out the Ethereum network. Is this something for people to be concerned about them when we're interacting with this kind of DeFi?
Not necessarily. I suspect because it's a relatively small hack compared to some of the other ones we've seen, that they'll be able to cover any of the losses here and then patch the issue or the vulnerability that they had. So I don't think there's going to be too many knock-on effects from this. However, it just really goes to show that when you are participating in decentralized finance, that these things can happen and we have to be careful and manage our risk accordingly.
Yeah, I think that's some really good advice, and we might leave that one there, Blake, and move on to our next story. This week, venture firm A16Z, very popular, they have a crypto arm and they looked at the intersection of crypto and AI, putting out a very interesting report. Now, they are laying out 11 concrete ways that these two technologies intersect together, and it's a pretty useful roadmap for where maybe the next wave of products might come from. Blake, you've had a little read of this one. What were your top examples maybe out of that 11?
Yeah, of course. So A16Z is a famous investor in the crypto space, but more broadly in the technology space. And they fund a lot of the projects in the ecosystem. And their research is always incredibly good. And I regularly reference it. So some of the key things that stuck out of this report where the intersection of AI and crypto is firstly, people having their own blockchain profiles. Now, at the moment, when we use AI like ChatGPT, Perplexity, or Claude, they own all the data that you put into it. And as a result, they're profiling you and will be serving ads to you and selling your data. But one of the great use cases here of blockchain is that you can own your own data in this process. So we're going to see more and more products come to market that allow you to do this, so you don't have to give away all your data for free to these big technology behemoths. The next one that I found really interesting was compatible proof of personhood. So at the moment, we're seeing a lot of agentic AI or AI that can take instructions and then go and do things for you on the internet, like post on Twitter or create images and put them on Instagram, where you could have a verification mechanism with blockchain that allows you to show you if it's a real person posting the content or whether it is a bot or in other words an agentic AI, which is going to become more and more important, I think, as things progress. The third one that jumped out at me, there were 11 key points here, but the third one was keeping your vibe coded apps in sync. So a lot of people are now using AI to code their own mobile applications and web applications and websites. And, you can use AI to sync data quickly and securely using blockchain. So that's really interesting. And of course, the fourth one here that jumped out at me is potentially the most important is micropayments. Now, if you have an AI agent and it'll be very hard for them to go get their own bank account to make transactions on your behalf, but very easy to establish a crypto wallet and for you to deposit some funds in there for it to, take action on your behalf on the internet, like buy services or go to the shopping cart for you and buy things. So that's really interesting. So we'll put the report in the show notes so you can check out that and look into the emerging trends in the ecosystem.
Yeah, and I think, look, this will be something that we're talking about for quite some time. There is certainly a lot going on in the AI space, and there really is a big crossover with crypto and the blockchain. And I think we'll be speaking about that a lot in the coming year. Let's go now to a break, and when we come back, we have our short, sharp news bites. Recently, Bamboo published a report that we think you'll find really interesting. Crypto in Australia, a long-term view. It looks at how Aussies invested in crypto in 2025 and why dollar cost averaging is a number one investing method. plus all the good things like the role of crypto in 2026 and beyond. Download the report now from the show notes below. Welcome back. You're listening to the Crypto Curious podcast. Time now for our short, sharp news bites brought to you by the Bamboo app. First up, the US Treasury confirms seized Bitcoin will join its strategic reserve. This was confirmed by their Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, and he confirmed this at the Davos event, which happened recently. And this is basically an event where all the world leaders come together and talk about all the important things happening in the state of the world at the moment. And this was something mentioned. And this is actually probably a big shift from what's been spoken about recently with regards to the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. The government is now treating seized Bitcoin like a long-term asset, and we'll be looking at holding this on the balance sheet. So this is probably important bit of information for Bitcoin going forward.
And just to be clear as well, so previously the US government said that they would not be selling any of the Bitcoins that they have seized. And this is really just coming out and saying all new Bitcoins that are being seized are going to continue to add to their stockpile of Bitcoins that they won't be selling, which is an important, small but important distinction to make.
What's up next, Blake?
All right, the SEC drops the Gemini case. The SEC, which is the regulator in the US for financial industry, has dropped their lawsuit against Gemini. So Gemini is a big exchange by the Winklevoss twins. They recently went public on the New York Stock Exchange, on the NASDAQ. Yeah, and they have been in this fight since 2022, but now, case has been dropped. So I'm sure those guys are incredibly happy about that one.
BitGo IPO. So crypto custody firm BitGo went public on the New York Stock Exchange, raising $212 million at an $18 share. This is above the market range, and this is the first crypto company IPO of the year, and the value of BitGo is now at $2 billion. So analysts are watching closely because it's really a test of the market appetite for these type of crypto listings, with Grayscale and Kraken reportedly looking at doing their IPOs as well later this year. Looking forward to seeing how that Kraken one will play out also, Blake.
That's right. Next up, there's a US crypto bill update. So just a few weeks back, we've been talking about this one being slowed down. But now Coinbase's backed advocacy group Stand With Crypto, which we are a member of, has made getting the US market structure laws their top priority. They really want to get this one through. We mentioned last week that the CEO of Coinbase, Brian Armstrong, said they want to slow down, but their policy arm has said that, this is their key focus this year. And rightly so. This is going to provide a lot of clarity to the industry, and I think then attract a lot of capital and interest and make it easier for crypto businesses to operate more broadly. So, it's great to see that these guys are pushing it forward, and they've had a lot of success in the past, so I have no doubt that they're going to get some success here as well.
Yep. Okay. Look, before we go, we'll just do a little bit maybe of a health check on Bitcoin and where we sit at the moment in the market, Blake. I think we're bouncing around the $88,000 mark. We had a little bit of a 3% dip over the last week, but that all comes with, I think, the tensions geopolitical that are going on. So that's to be expected, especially with gold and silver doing exceptionally well. So Bitcoin's sitting at 88,000 US dollars. Ethereum's just a touch under 3,000 and just sitting sideways at the moment. That's a little price update for you there, guys, as we round out the show. Okay, folks, that's it. Me and Blake will be back next week for all of your crypto news needs. Until then.
Do we have a special next week?
What's that?
Do we have a special guest next week?
No, we don't. That's the week after.
Okay.
Yep.
All good.
So until then, stay curious, stay connected. You can do this by joining the Crypto Curious Facebook group or our Instagram page. Until then, make sure you hit the subscribe button where you're listening to us now to make sure you're getting the podcast every week. If you're looking to dollar cost average into the crypto market, give the Bamboo app a try and you can get $10 of free Bitcoin to get you started using the code CURIOUS. There's a link in the show notes below and we look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.